And we have a start in this men's pair final A. And just to give everyone a reminder, in lane 1, we have the Sun Devils. Lane 2, RCA. Lane 3, Australia Gold. Lane 4, Bear Force 1. Lane 5, Australia Green. Lane 6, Raccoon Raiders. And lane 7, New Zealand.
We've got a bit of a contingent of supporters here at the finish line that we can hear, and we know that there are a lot of people tuning in abroad as well following these races. So we see a really good press being put on by New Zealand's combination here in lane 7. They know they've got to do whatever they can. They were seeded by time, about 6th place, 6th fastest time, so that they know they're going to have to do something special here. The fastest team out of the time trials was Bear Force 1 with a time of 6:49.9. Just about 2.5 seconds back was Australia Green. Australia Gold was another 5 seconds back off of that leader. So again, racing between time trials and side-by-side can be very different, but at least those top 3 crews have a little bit of confidence in their back pocket of they know what they can do when there's no distractions. When you've got complete control over the environment. But you see New Zealand doing something really special here, saying, you know, our fate is not written in stone yet. We can't look into the crystal ball, but we're going to see what we can do, throw our cards in this race, see what we can do, and maybe shake some things up.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like a part of their game plan might have been just to get out there in the first 500 meters. And so now it's about maintaining, potentially accelerating even more. But you can see that those other crews are starting to make a move at that first 500 meters here, coming back into the frame a little bit with that New Zealand boat. Which, fun fact, Grace, they have 17 supporters here, and they brought 18 hats, 18 shirts, and 18 flags for those supporters.
So you're saying there's one available?
That's what I'm hearing. There are 2 of us, though.
We're going to have to fight for it. But the fight that's happening is this race on screen. So we saw New Zealand out in front. They tried to get an early lead, but it looks like we've got a really good press being put on by, is that Bear Force 1, Australia Green, and Australia Gold, either side of them, and also Rowing Canada over in lane 2. So as the field is coming down, I get very excited about this because the middle 1,000 of the small boat race is actually getting tighter when we would expect the field to sort of spread out a little bit. So it's still really anyone's chance at this point, though we see a little bit of separation. I say it's anyone's chance because moves can unfold slowly in a small boat race, but once you've started, they're very difficult to counter. So when a boat is on the move and they have momentum, the same amount of time to generate that energy has to occur on the same timeline from the other crews. And can they activate as quickly? Can they spot it? They don't have a coxswain to tell them that. They have to be able to see it either side to side while they're trying to stay focused on their pair partner or setting a good rhythm. So it's really a challenging position for the athletes. I'm so incredibly excited. They've got such a tight race here at this point.
This is such a tight race going on right here, and it does look like all of the boats are still involved in this race, still connected to one another, basically. And so really, like you were saying, as soon as those moves happen, either you have to pick them up if you're in the other boats and react pretty instantaneously to try to hold off those moves, or be confident in your race plan and have your own moves ready to go.
So it looks like as we've crossed through about the halfway point of the race, we've got Bear Force 1 in the lead. 2nd place, Australia Green. Well, I said it, but with the angle, and perhaps it may have been Australia Green who's got the advantage here. It's stroke for stroke as they're coming towards the line, and it does look like as they cross that buoy, they're exchanging blows, but it is Australia Green by just a hair over Bear Force 1.
I'm not sure. I'm watching them go through that buoy line. I think Australia Green may have just pulled ahead right there. Bow ball to bow ball right now with these first 2 boats. But I also want to point out the boats on the top of our screen here, which I believe is Rowing Canada, and they are sneaking back into the mix right now.
Yeah, we saw a really good, I think, an impulse change out of that stroke seat, that Brock Vanderboom-Beb, who wants to pull level. We see the stroke seat of Australia Green, Ewan looking over, seeing how close can they get, maybe a little close side to side as well. That's what happens when you're coming down into a close race and you're focusing just on that nearest boat. So in this case, Australia Green and Bear Force 1, it's like magnet magnets. It actually pulls you together side by side. They're looking just at those two boats. They have to keep an eye out on Rowing Canada, who is on a fantastic charge.
Look at this, Rowing Canada just sneaking up on that outside lane here. And then you can see right here, it looks like Australia just put on a move right there. That is Australia Green. Just put on a move to take a little bit, maybe a seat or two, over that Bear Force One boat. And then Rowing Canada just doing their thing over there. And I am loving this right here. And you know, we speak that. As soon as we speak it, the other boat puts on another move and reacts. And it's just, you can't predict this stuff.
This is fantastic. This is the final 500 meters of the A-level final of the men's pair in the International Rowing Challenge. Australia Green has a lead about 3 feet now ahead of Bear Force One, but it is still 500 meters. Things could change. We never know. It depends on how the athletes are going to throw down a fantastic race piece, if they're going to make a call, make a change, and move together. Rowing Canada has been on a fantastic charge. They've gotten their bow into the conversation of potentially sneaking away with a gold. If they can do an upset, if they can continue to stay sneaky, they might be holding off and holding back until the red buoys. But it has been a dogfight between Bear Force One and Australia Green this middle thousand.
Look at this. You cannot predict what is going to happen here. We are going to come into these last 250 meters, and these athletes are going to throw on that power, that pressure, and go. This is where that sprint happens. It looks like right here, we have that Bear Force One and Australia Green neck and neck. I'm going to give it to Bear Force One right now by 1 seat ahead of that Australia Green boat. But here comes Rowing Canada up on the far side in lane 2, putting on that pressure, upping that stroke rate, working to get into one of those top 2 positions.
Rowing Canada has made the fastest gear change. Australia Green now countering. Bear Force One, their bow seat, you can see him pour everything into it. That's Brian Van and Henry Pecor just putting everything they can. They're now opening it up, gathering some speed. They have the biggest lead of the race here at this point. Can they open it up to open? They still have overlap. Rowing Canada now charging, perhaps overtaking Australia Green. It's going to come down to the final strokes here, but it will be Bear Force One, your winners in the A-level final of the men's pair. Australia Green may have just nipped out. Rowing Canada will have to go check the official results on Time Team. What a fantastic race in the men's pair. You can see that combination of Bear Force One, so ecstatic with that performance. We got the rest of the field now coming through the line, still competitive. Brian Van and Henry Pecor of Bear Force One, your winners here in the men's pair at the International Rowing Challenge.
It's like a weird combination of wild excitement, enthusiasm, adrenaline, but then also you are totally spent.
Absolutely. Yeah, so it'll be really interesting to see how that particular